Hey there creator, I'm Rob and welcome to vidIQ. In this video, I'm going to give you a complete breakdown of how to get started with a faceless channel on YouTube. We are going to cover what even is a faceless YouTube channel, are there any legal risks involved, and how much could you potentially earn with real examples from successful channels. And towards the end of this video, I will share with you a step-by-step guide on how to get started even if you have literally no experience. But I do need to warn you of this now. This isn't going to be a sugar-coated video of empty promises that you can make tens of thousands of dollars within 3 weeks just by sitting on your couch. We've made this video for you to give you a complete and transparent look at what it takes to be a successful faceless channel on YouTube. So let's start at the very beginning with, what is a faceless channel? Spoiler alert, this isn't a faceless channel. But generally speaking, there are two different types of faceless channels. The first type is simply where the creator doesn't want to show their face on camera. It may be that the content is better suited to not having a face in front of a camera. Take Cinema Sins, for example. The hero of the content is the film that they are commentating on. Or it could simply be a personal choice. The creator isn't confident in front of camera, or they wish to remain anonymous. The second type is the one that you're probably more interested in, and it's what's commonly known as YouTube automation. These channels typically take a more hands-off approach. There's often a reliance on outsourcing content and talent and using AI tools. Stock footage might be used as well as AI voiceovers. Or there could be a team of writers and editors to produce content at scale. But to make things more clear, let's take a look at some examples. For the first type of faceless channel, we have a typical Minecraft channel. Even though you don't see the creator's face, their voice and their personality shines through in the content.
We're supposed to spend 1,000 years here?
That's awful!
Automation channels, on the other hand, are very different. Take a look at this channel, the Stoic Community. They create personal development videos on stoicism using AI stock footage and AI generated voices.
It does not matter how many books you have, but how good the books are.
Now, I appreciate that some of you will have very strong opinions about this sort of content, but the channel does have 40 million views and over 300,000 subscribers. Regardless of opinion, there is opportunity. And if that triggers you, you might want to stop watching this video now. Now, automated channels typically outsource a lot of their production. The channel owner's role is more about the management of the process rather than creating content themselves. And this type of channel can produce content at scale because typically there is a team behind that production process. But that does come with its unique challenges, which I'll get to a little later. But first, I want to show you one more example of an AI automation channel.
The real mystery does not behave mysteriously or secretively. It speaks a secret language. It adumbrates itself by a variety of images which all indicate its true nature.
Does that voice sound a little familiar?
I've become more powerful than any Jedi.
Oh yeah. Now, it can't actually be Christopher Lee because he passed away in 2015. So what is this? Voice cloning. New AI tools like 11 Labs actually allow creators to now clone the voice of famous actors and celebrities and use them in their videos. And here's the scary part. This technology right now is as bad as it's going to be. So imagine where we'll be in 2 or 3 years' time. So while all of this is pretty cool in one way, it's also really scary in another way. AI tools are lowering the barrier of entry to creativity, but it also raises a lot of legal and moral challenges. So if you want to start a faceless channel, we want to educate you in the right way. Otherwise, you could end up with countless copyright claims, demonetization, maybe even your channel being terminated. And as we just briefly mentioned, the first big challenge is copyright. A lot of faceless channels heavily rely on using other people's content. And if you don't do this properly, it's going to lead to copyright claims, copyright strikes, channel termination, even legal challenges. But as you will have witnessed, creators do use other people's content in their videos. So how do they do it? How does a creator such as YouTube drama channel SunnyV2 make videos even though their content is based around using other people's videos on YouTube? Well, if you've done any research into copyright, this is a term you've probably already heard. 2 words: fair use. In the broadest sense of the term, it allows creators to use other people's content under certain conditions. This includes, but is not restricted to, adding significant commentary to the original source material, using it for educational purposes, or using small clips to create a new story. And you can wrap all of this up into a concept called transformative. It adds a new meaning, message, or expression to the original source material. For example, sunnyv2 takes clips from various creators and events, but uses them to create a new standalone story. His viewers can clearly tell that his video is a new video, and it's not just ripping off other people's content. Now, it should also be noted that copyright and fair use isn't something that YouTube invented. These laws and the definition of them have been around for decades, which is a problem in itself. When all of this was first drafted, you couldn't download videos with a simple Google search and then redistribute them on a video platform 5 minutes later. Previously, you would need time and lots of money. Relatively speaking, 30 or 40 years ago, copyright was easy to police, but now it's under constant pressure from everyone. And quite frankly, in my personal opinion, copyright isn't fit for purpose in the creative world we live in today. But until copyright rules and laws do catch up with YouTube and TikTok, this is the clunky world that we're going to have to live in. As for the next challenge, YouTube definitely invented this one: the reused policy. According to YouTube, reused content is content that is clearly not the creator's original work. But one key difference here is that the content doesn't have to be copyrighted. It could be Creative Commons content, which anybody can use. But if you just take that Creative Commons content and upload it to YouTube with no changes, that would be considered reused content. An example of this might be the Steamboat Willie animations, the precursor to Mickey Mouse. These entered public domain recently after their copyright expired. So technically, you are free to use this content. However, if you just took the source material and uploaded it direct to YouTube, you're not going to get paid for that. An example of a channel that skirted too close to this reused policy was Hot Chamber. They make videos on entertainment, news, and celebrity gossip in their country, and were demonetized for being suspected of using other people's content. But fortunately for them, they were able to reverse the demonetization decision in just 8 hours with a single video. They recorded a video and showed it to YouTube, which demonstrated their content making process. That then brought their videos into the fair use realm. But faceless channels aren't always that fortunate. That is why it's really important to understand these policies before you spend months, perhaps even years, building up a channel that never has any chance of getting monetized. But having said all of that, copyright and reuse content might not be the biggest challenges that faceless channels have to contend with. Could be fierce competition. Since the rise of ChatGPT and AI video editing tools, the barrier to entry for faceless channels is almost non-existent. I would say at this stage, anyone can watch some tutorials about how to make AI videos and then be publishing their own content at scale for free within 2 or 3 hours. And because anyone can do this, you can be easily copied. For example, faceless niches like relaxing music or rain sounds are very easy to duplicate. They don't require much skill, so there's a crazy amount of competition. There's also the concept of the first mover's advantage, which faceless channels don't have the luxury of these days. Going back to that Stoicism channel, I think one of the reasons why it is successful is because they started their channel a year ago. And when it comes to AI, a year feels like a lifetime of progress and development. There will be countless channels like that Stoicism channel that started in the last year and haven't even got 1,000 subscribers. And I'm sure you've experienced going onto YouTube Shorts and then swiping through half of videos that are all AI generated, which can be pretty frustrating from a viewer's perspective, right? But there are tools such as Smart Short and InVideo that will write the script, create the visuals, and edit everything together using AI. But we don't want you to come away from this faceless channel education thinking it's pointless. You can be successful. And we want to show you some examples of faceless channels which are very successful and making a ton of money doing it. And the first one you might be familiar with because we interviewed him on the channel, Noah Morris. He started out as a Minecraft gaming channel, bringing in $100 per month in ad revenue. But now, in his early 20s, he runs 25 faceless YouTube channels that haul in $200,000 a month. For example, this is one of his channels called Court Cases, and the second video uploaded to that channel made Noah over $20,000. And this is the type of channel you want to research to discover what makes a good faceless channel. Correct, none of this content is Noah's original work, but it is transformative of the original source material, which makes it into something different and, importantly, of quality and value to an audience. This is another faceless channel that makes documentary style content on basketball. And naturally, in order for this channel to work, it's going to need a lot of clips from the NBA. In just 3 months, this channel has made over $30,000 from 4 videos. Which does make you wonder, Just what are these creators doing to make such successful faceless YouTube channels? So let's answer that question with 3 steps to help you get started. Find a profitable niche. To do this, you need to focus on niches with a popular American audience, such as sports, celebrities, true crime. Generally speaking, YouTube tends to pay higher CPMs for US audiences, which is naturally going to drive up the revenue from your content. And a good way to get you started with this is to find hot niches by creating a YouTube account where you're only going to watch faceless content. That should recommend future faceless content with hot topic subjects. And to be clear, this advice comes from the understanding that you are consciously putting profit before passion. If the goal of your faceless channel is to make as much money as possible, which is typically the case, then you have to accept that your personal interests may not align with the topics that drive the most revenue and CPMs on YouTube. Next, unless you really know what you're doing, you don't want to try and reinvent the faceless channel niche. So you're going to model your videos on successful topics. Now, this is a very simple strategy. You've probably heard it before. Go to the top performing channels of that faceless niche and then sort the videos by most popular. You want to look at what video topics are going viral for them, what sort of titles and thumbnails are they using, and how is their content structured. This will help increase the chances of picking video ideas and topics that already resonate with your target audience. And then you need to get your hands creatively dirty by starting out as a regular creator. If you are just getting started on YouTube for the first time with no experience, then it is important to learn the skills of running a YouTube channel. This means at the very beginning that you shouldn't outsource the work such as script writing and video editing. And the reason for this is pretty simple. Nothing beats practical YouTube experience. You'll want some experience of the entire YouTube video production process and also develop that instinct for what makes a good video. And then eventually, once you do have a proof of concept, the channel is making money, then you can start to outsource the things you either don't like or just aren't very good at. But at least you can manage, guide and direct on those aspects. And if you are a complete beginner, especially to faceless channels, then we have put together this little video that should guide you through how to make that first faceless video.